we have our people stationed on the platform, ready, a rapid response unit, as well as a kind of cheerleader unit as well. Can you see Dungeness there, Drew?
The safety limit on a flask is measured in becquerels, and the safety limit is 4 becquerels. On the flask in Germany, they were getting readings of 13,400 becquerels. Tad over the limit, I think you'll find. That's and the police actually said in Germany, they said of the regulatory authorities, they said the behaviour, they said they were scandalous, and their behaviour was the type they would expect in a banana republic or a corrupt institution in a third world dictatorship. Yes. Now, yeah, but when the police say that, that's like Thora Hird calling Harry Seacombe a cunt. I mean, it's just off the scale. So we had loads of questions to ask British Nuclear Fuels because, like, we wanted to ask questions about, between 95 and 98, British Nuclear Fuels received 53 wagons which registered radiation levels over the limits in Europe to be brought into Britain. We wanted to ask them questions about their safety record here. Last year they had 3 derailments of nuclear trains. Obviously we wanted to ask, why were there 3 derailments? What happened there? What were the procedures? We wanted to ask about the flasks that weren't connected properly and had to stop the train. It took 5 hours for the emergency unit to get there. Or maybe the incident down in Kent when the nuclear train ploughed through a stationary car at a crossing. We thought these are all interesting questions which we'd like to ask. We thought, come on, we've got to ask some questions about this, because they're saying, oh no, we test the flasks. They're very, very vigorous testing. We drop them from 9 metres, and that makes sure that they are safe. And we said, well, how come then we've got video footage of nuclear flasks travelling over viaducts that are about 200 feet high, tad over 9 metres? You know, they said, oh, well, we did a big test on the flask where we drove a train into a flask, and the flask was safe. This is real Richard Whiteley science. It really is. Right, because if a train hits a flask, 1, the flask can move. 2nd, which rather sort of like, you know, changes the actual experimental conditions. Secondly, the train can actually shred. The metal is malleable, so it can move. What happens if a flask comes into contact inside a tunnel with a granite wall? Not quite as malleable there. Not as much give. We thought, you know, we've got questions we wanted to ask them. I was just phoning up to ask a couple of questions.
Well, we've told you that we're not doing any more interviews with you. Well, and I'm afraid that's the thing is, you see, is we were trying to get a...
And they said to us, no, we're not talking to you. We're not talking to you because you trivialise the subject. And we said, hang on a minute, what do you mean trivialise the subject? These are all legitimate questions. No, you trivialise it. I thought this is really odd because 2 months ago we phoned up and asked the Sellafield Visitor Centre if we could turn up in radioactive lobster costumes. And you said yes. Then the residents in Brent said, look, British Nuclear Fuels have asked for a secret meeting with us at a Holiday Inn. Salubrious. And we said, oh, great. They said, yeah. They said, why don't you turn up and, you know, afterwards you could interview us about the meeting. And, of course, British Nuclear Fuels would be there. If you had your cameras, you could ask them questions as well.
Ooh, hello there, I'm Mark. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. Well, we're going to do sort of individual chats, actually. Is that all right? Well, as we're here, we could talk from BNFL?
No, we finished, thank you very much.
So, do you not wish to go on camera at all about any of your comments or any of the public meetings? Or, but it's supposed to be a public meeting, you see, so I thought you might want to go on camera and comment as it was a public meeting. So, it was just to ask you questions about sort of, you know, whether you're happy with security, whether you're happy with, you know, whether you're happy with the sort of incident level. Oh, excuse me. We're just wondering, whether you're happy with the derailment process.
With Britain's Hill programme, you asked for an interview.
I know, well, you said, but this is the point. We're just asking you. We're going to ask very sort of like reasonable questions about. Hello there. Oh, sorry, are we in your way there?
No, it's fine.
I mean, we just wanted to. I mean, do you think this is publicly accountable? No. Okay.
They look like we've just caught them in a wank cinema.
The subject of consultation, they say they're going to wait and have a period of time before they make a firm decision, but you don't seem convinced.
What I found, though, a wee bit actually disturbing, because we mentioned, we can't give the name, but we mentioned 3 food stores.
Would that be Tesco's and Sainsbury's?
Sainsbury's, Tesco's and other supermarket chains.
They never came out of me. But they had actually told us that they had actually consulted with these food stores about their actual proposals. And in their view, the food stores had no opposition to it. I find that extremely hard to believe.
And they said that Tesco's and Sainsbury's had been consulted, and Tesco's and Sainsbury's
prepared to have the train passing through.
One day it could be transporting milk, and the following day it could actually be transporting nuclear rods.
So we started phoning up saying, look, can we talk to you? We've got all these serious questions. Hello, it's Mark Thomas here. No, we can't talk to you. You're trivialising it. Well, can I talk to someone in the press? No, they're out. They're on holiday. They've got flu. Wrong number. Chinese takeaway. Hello. And so they just wouldn't talk to us at all. They wouldn't answer letters, take the phone calls. So we thought, we'll get some mates in and see if they can phone up and talk on our behalf and ask questions.
But we're not going to cooperate any further with the Mark Thomas Company product.
We're going to point out that we've already pointed out to Mark Thomas that we're not prepared to cooperate any further.
We have decided that we will not be cooperating with the Mark Thomas show.
Why is that?
Issue. Well, we think that it trivialises issues that are very dear and close to the hearts of people.
We've already told Mark Thomas and we've already told Paul Foote that we're not prepared to do anything if it's being recorded.
There is a dialogue process in operation at present.
Sorry, what's a dialogue process?
A process of dialogue so that the people of the stakeholders around the Cricklewood area can have a proper dialogue with ourselves, with a third-party mediator at the Environment Council.
I don't think you understand it. I'm a member of Parliament. I have every right to ask you a few questions.
The chap that you saw there, the MP called Rudy Viz, who's a very nice chap, but Labour MP, nice fella. He actually, on his phone call, he was brilliant, because he phoned up Sir John Guinness's office, who's the chairman of British Nuclear Fuel. And this woman said, I'm afraid he's in a meeting. Would you go and get him for me, please? Oh, well, I'll see if he'll come out for you.
Hello?
Mr. Guinness?
Yes.
I'm most grateful that you came out of the meeting.
I've still got the chief executive with me.
This is wonderful. You can both hear it then.
Well, let me just ask you this question, please. Because at a meeting you had with the residents, representatives of British Nuclear Fuel said that they had been in consultation with the local branches of Tesco's and Sainsbury's.
Now, I have, of course, done my best and checked it with Sainsbury's and Tesco's, and they entirely and wholly deny that any contact has taken place between themselves and DRS or BNFL. Now, I have a great deal of respect for all these major companies, but somebody's lying. And I just wanted to find out, and it's a very general question, as to whether you feel in your heart of hearts that you lot are lying, or that it is the Sainsbury and Tesco organisations.
We'll get back to you on that
one. I've been able to see a copy of the letter you sent to Rudy Viz, and there's one point on it I'd like to explore in some detail at the public meeting.
Mr. Livingston, I think that calling out of the blue for recording purposes is not fair play. So if you...
Well, excuse me, but talking about fair play, you're the organisation that circulated public information that I had been consulted when you hadn't consulted me at all. So do not talk about fair play. You've actually behaved in a very underhand way all the way through this, and I assume that sort of lead comes from you as chairman personally.
Mr. Livingston, last time I met you, you got a round of applause from people, including myself. Your previous remarks were totally inappropriate, and I'd be grateful if you write to me rather than insult me.
I'm not insulting you. Oops. I wonder what he was at.
We wanted to be entirely fair. to British Nuclear Fuels. So we walked along there the other day and put out